This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show. Today,
with Sean Greaves, guitar player
at Moonlight Graham Records in beautiful downtown Orange County, California, presenting the record release party for his new band, the Manic Low.
You played bass on the album too.
Yeah, I played bass and the acoustic guitars, electric guitars, and sang. And wrote too.
Yeah, you're like one of the co-writers on 80% of the songs on the album.
Yeah. Me and Jack wrote most of them. We wrote some with Rob Malucky too, and then some. Then Rob Malucky wrote some just with Jack.
Sean, how would you describe this album?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty eclectic, and it's not such a heavy up. It doesn't get real distorted. Not a lot of distorted guitars, but I think we was pretty bold with it. It's pretty different and pretty clean, kind of clean sounding.
Being a part of Jack's past and being the guitar player for Joykiller, were you shocked by what was coming out and the songs that Jack was writing as far as in the style?
No, it was kind of coming along like the way we write when we've written together. Mm-hmm. And then we wrote a bunch of songs, and then we looked back on some and says, okay, well, this one isn't as good as that one. So we kind of started saying, well, let's rate them 1 to 5 or something like that. And we says, well, this one will keep in the running, this one's out, this one's out. And so we started to get more stronger material together like that. And then it was like, maybe we really got something.
What kind of musical statement do you feel you made on the Manic Low album?
I feel we just said something that was pretty different than what's usually going around right now, and we figure, well, maybe we'll get some shit for it, maybe we won't. But when we do what we're doing, we do it because we like to do it. We're not trying to please, it's like, well, what did this band do that year, and now it's time to suck ass. It's more like let's do what we do.
Jack, was he mainly the driving force lyrically in this album?
Yeah, all the way.
How excited were you when you heard the lyrics?
I was pretty excited. I'm pretty picky, so some of the stuff I went, oh God, I don't know, and then there was some things like, well, that needs a harmony, and then we put a harmony on it, and it's like, well, that's better. And then there was a part where he came back after we listened to quite a few, and it was he'd call me up and go, me and Paul, we put these background things on. And he played over the phone. It's like, oh, that's great, So it just built. It built like that too. A lot of building.
How integral was Paul Roessler in the making of this album?
All the way. It was all the way. It was like we'd worked with Paul before, and what we did was we recorded the songs, and then when we got to the Paul part of it, where we're putting the keyboards on, we went up and sat down with him and it was like till 1 or 2 in the morning, running through all the songs, And instead of us saying, this needs this, it was more like Paul would go, boom, and it's like we didn't need to tell him this, need that. He's instinctual as anyone gets. He's really good. And so then what happened was we left it with him, and then we came back and listened. It was just like it's all really good, I mean, the pianos are where the pianos are, the organs where the organs should be, and the holes are nice and perfect, and just added to the top all the way. Really good.
What do you think of the Moonlight Graham experience as far as labels go?
I like them. I think they're really cool. I think what's really cool is they're artists, and so they know how the hard end of it, of how you can get screwed or never ever see your money or anything. I'm sure they've heard and run into that before probably. So there's a really fair deal with them, really fair. And it was like, from what I understand, it's like when they sell a song, on an iPod or what do they call it, iTunes, that they give this. They split it down the middle with the artist right from the beginning instead of recouping the costs and all that crap that happens when someone makes an album. And then finally, after all the stamps are bought and people say they threw a party somewhere in New York and somebody finally sees money from their record finally, which doesn't happen very much.
We're actually at a signing that you did today for the Manic Low album. And because today's the celebration of the release of the record, what are your hopes of a tour?
I think there's some gigs set up already for the back east, Manic Low playing with Pepper and Cypress Hill and Sublime. Manic Low is probably the most different band on that bill, opening up. So it could be challenging. You
moved to Huntington Beach, and that's how you reconnected with Jack.
Yeah. I moved back to Huntington Beach I think it was about 10 months ago, and I called up Jack and I says, hey, I live here now, and I moved in with my girlfriend, and he says, you're living here? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, come on over. I came over, and he says, well, I'm writing new record, and he goes, maybe you should write on it. And I go, man, I'd love to. I feel, because I always liked writing with Jack. And so we just started writing, and with me and him and Rob, and writing and writing and writing.
How fortunate do you feel to be a part of the Manic Low?
Oh man, way fortunate. I mean, when it's up to me, man, I can barely put anything together at all. These guys, they got a little push and a little bit of focus, you know, and it was like, oh, hey man, just tell me what you need, man, let's go. And it was really good working with all these guys, because everybody really, I mean, it was a real self-contained unit. I mean, we mixed it ourselves and everything, and we got Paul in there, and all the harmonies and everything worked out by everybody in the band. So it was like we didn't need a lot of outside people.
Why should people buy the Manic Low record?
Well, they should probably buy it in big quantities, and then we could probably make us rich. And that would be really nice, because I could burn money real good.
Hey, you and me both. Sean Greaves, it's been great talking to you.
You too, man.
Much success with the Manic Low. Congratulations on your record signing today.
The Blaring Out Show.